marketing, sales, business development in many, many organizations. So it's just that I feel a little bit stuck and do not know how to move on from there. And after I got married, my father-in-law, which is Mr. Wong, in this picture here, introduced me to this career. And he himself is in this career for 36 years. I'm sure he is very experienced and well-versed in this. He can also share with you in depth about his knowledge when the time is right. So I'd like to introduce my father-in-law, Mr. Wong, as well. He's the one that bring me to where I am today. And of course, I would like to share with you about a little bit about 2021 outlooks and trends. I know that this pandemic time has been difficult for many. And of course, I learned this outlook and trends from one of my mentor. His name is Dr. Sanjay. Dr. Sanjay is very popular. He is based in Dubai and is popular in the insurance industry because he is about almost 20 years experience in there. And he's an international speaker as well. So he mentioned that the borders will be open and closed. As we all know, Malaysia is still in MCO, as well as many other countries. And online will be the way forward for trading. So if you are in trading line, you cannot do brick and mortar anymore because of the pandemic. It will be very, very difficult. So online will be the way forward. And traveling will be restricted. As we all know, we can't travel. Even now, we can't travel cross-state, let alone travel internationally. And face-to-face interaction will also be restricted. Therefore, if we are in the business of doing face-to-face sales or face-to-face interaction, I think it will be very difficult. And therefore, and also COVID-19 will be part of insurance company underwriting. What I mean by that is when we purchase insurance, either for health or for our children or anything else, we need to do health declaration. So when health declaration is in place, COVID-19 will be part of the health declaration. So if we or even our family members, extended family members has COVID, it will be part of the company underwriting. So this is very new and never happened before. So something that all of us have to be aware that moving forward, a lot of things will change simply because of COVID-19. And in this article by The Age, right? And they mentioned over here, are you one of them? And are you one of them person over here that fear of losing their jobs? Maybe if you are one of them, you just put yes in the chat group. You just put yes in the chat group so that we can know. Because over here in this article by The Age, he mentioned that 92%, which is a lot, right? Workers felt some level of stress of losing their job. So if you're working today, if you're one of them, don't worry, because a lot of people felt the same. 92% of people felt some kind of stress about losing their job. So that is a very scary thing, right? Because pre-pandemic, before that, I don't think that many numbers, because I'm sure a lot of people are very comfortable or very happy or very excited about their job. But just because of the pandemic, 92% of people fear of losing their job. And let's see this article. And these are some of the winners and losers from the pandemic. I don't mention the winners, I just mention the losers. So the losers are obviously travel and tourism, small businesses, hospitality, real estate, university, and manufacturing. If you are in one of these industries, it's a, I would say, red flag, because the trend will be going downhill from here. So it's very scary for those people who are in this industry because it will affect them directly. And of course, this is more, I would say, specific on the industry also. The losers I would like to highlight in this industry from the pandemic. So if you're in one of these losers, so I'm sure there must be some way, there must be an alternative that we can look at, that we can explore to ensure that we are not stuck in this industry, because we know the way moving forward, it'll be very tough and it'll be downhill, right? It'll be like sunset. So we want to make sure that we have an alternative to ensure that we can move on in terms of security for our income and for our family. Now let's focus on you. I talked a little bit about the pandemic. I talked a little bit about the outlooks and trends and also some of the winners and losers, but let's focus about you today. So today, if we are focusing about you, do you wake up in the morning? Let's ask yourself a simple question. Do you wake up in the morning and you find yourself waking up by the alarm clock or waking up from a dream? I'm sure some of us, many of us, we need alarm clock to wake up, right? I'm not saying that we cannot use alarm clock to wake up. I use alarm clock to wake up myself sometimes. But if we are waking up from the alarm clock, we know that waking up from alarm clock means that we have to go to work. And sometimes you feel like dragging our feet to work, or we feel stuck, or we feel like we do not want to contribute to the work simply because we don't have the heart to it. But if you're waking up to a dream, your dream specifically, because all of us have dreams, right? My dream specifically, right? This is the first time I share, I think, to Lisa and also the Facebook Live, is I want to build an academy of football. I would say a football kind of like academy for kids. That is my dream because I like football, right? And I like to build this academy because I want to ensure the next generation, like the kids, are well trained to represent Malaysia or make Malaysia proud, right, for football. Because I know that Malaysia football can be better, and that's my dream. So I'm sure you have your dream. So if your dream today is doing what you want to do, but you haven't achieved it yet, then you have to ask yourself whether or not you are in your dream, or you are just waking up from the alarm clock and doing just because you want to earn some money and care for your family, right? So when you talk about waking up in the morning and from the alarm clock, is definitely working for people, because maybe you are a bit burdened, your heart, to achieve it. So working for people versus working for yourself. This slide I want to highlight a little bit more about. If you can have a choice of choosing to work for yourself rather than working for people, wouldn't it be better? Because working for yourself, you can ensure that you can achieve your dream. Because if you're working for people, you achieve the company's dream, which is not entirely a bad thing, but you have to ask yourself, if you're wanting to achieve your own dream, you have to move towards working for yourself. And therefore, you can have your dream come true. And there's a world of difference, right? By being an entrepreneur, there's a world of difference from being an entrepreneur. And of course, I'd like to touch on each and every one of this point. If you talk about working for people, your income may not be proportionate with your effort. Meaning to say, you overwork and underpaid. Probably you work 10, 12 hours, I don't know. But the company is only giving you a fixed salary. So at the end of the month, you go home with that check, but you cannot demand more. So there's actually a ceiling. But if you talk about being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, being somewhere that you fulfill your own dream, then you can have the income proportionate to your effort, because the more effort you put, the more income you earn. And for recession proof, I'd like to highlight about my industry. My mentor, my person who brought me in this industry, which is my father-in-law, Mr. Wong, he went through several, not one, several recessions, 97 crisis, 2003 crisis, and also the recent pandemic. And his income did not drop, but increased. The reason is because there is a snowballing effect of passive income in this industry. So I would say being an entrepreneur is also recession-proof, but you have to choose the right industry as well to ensure that you have the passive income to continue that income coming in month after month, year after year, to ensure that you not only to worry about the income. No fixed income at the beginning, but multiple streams of income later on. I'd like to share my own personal story. I think I joined this industry in 2016, but in 2018, I was diagnosed with hyperthyroid. It's actually a immune system disorder. So usually it happens mostly in women, but I'm not sure why I get it. God is the one that put it in me. So when hyperthyroid, you actually felt lethargic, a lot of side effects. And I did not leave my home for 2 months in 2018. That was before the COVID. For 2 months, I didn't leave home to recover and rest and all that. But I want to tell you that if the company that you work with today can give you a 2 months off or 2 months MC, that would be very difficult for the company or the boss to do that, to grant you, right, 2 months, because 2 months is a long time. And most of the time, people will say, okay, 1 week MC is fair, 2 week MC is okay, but 2 months is very long. Imagine working for a company and take 2 months, you probably get unpaid leave already. You cannot get a full salary without coming to work. But I'm still able to do that simply because of this system which is in place, and I'm able to get multiple stream of income also in this industry. Unrestricted freedom, I want to share about freedom of time and freedom of income. So freedom of time, if you're working for people, I'm sure you need to punch in and punch out. And being punched in and punch out, meaning to say you are restricted in your freedom of time. You do not have the flexibility of going to where you want to go or taking off because you're tied up by company time, right? 9 to 5 p.m. But if you're working for your own, being an own entrepreneur, you have the freedom of time. You can choose to work when you are, where you want to be, and therefore giving you more freedom in that sense. Of course, when you talk about freedom of income, the sky is the limit. There's no like ceiling where there's a fixed income in your company, and you can't go beyond that. So that's the ceiling that most employment will fix you, and therefore that's also one of the reasons why I felt stuck, like I shared earlier, because I felt that I want to earn more, but I can't, right? Because there's a ceiling. If you talk about increment, also there's 5% increment, so I cannot move beyond that. So if you talk about you want to go more further up in terms of income, you need to start thinking about being an entrepreneur, go after your dreams, right? And advancement is in your control. Meaning to say, if you want to move up to the next level in your company, for example, you may need to wait for the next person to leave the post, your senior or your manager or your CEO to leave the post, then you can take over, right? But advancements and control, meaning to say you can control where your journey will be being an entrepreneur. You can choose it because the power is in your hands, not tied up with any company. So that's what I want to highlight in this. And I like to highlight this slide because I love it. We talk about the income. Everybody joined a particular industry because of the income. But I wanted to share about for a financial planning income, we talk about employment income versus entrepreneur income. So we look at that slide on the blue one, it's actually employment income. The blue one is employment income. We talk about maybe initial pay, 3,200, a fresh graduate, or maybe 1 or 2 years experience in Malaysia. Probably you get about 3,200. And if you get a 5% increment, if you're lucky, 5% increment for the next 5 years, your income will jump to about 59,000, 60K, about 5K a month. So that's quite fair for a fresh graduate. 5 years in industry, you get about 5K a month. But if you talk about entrepreneur income, you will get much more and much faster pace. So you starting off similar with an employment income, probably get about 3,000 plus, 37,000 a year, right? But you can go as high as 130,000 or about 10,000 a year in 5 years. So actually all these are being documented and it's actually mathematics, right? So we cannot lie with the numbers. So all these are actually documented, and entrepreneur income, multiple streams of income, and also the jump is actually very, very fast and much better than employment income. And like what I shared earlier, is also recession proof. So in fact, during the COVID, we can also share with people using Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, and whatnot. And the sales still go on. You can still get your income through that. Whereas if you talk about other industries, they are probably restricted a little bit during the COVID-19. So like what I shared earlier, so the summary of it, like what I want to share is my next slide is actually just keep in touch. So I've already come to almost the end of my sharing. So what I want to share is that choose wisely during the pandemic. We know that during the MCO is tough for everyone in terms of emotionally, financially, mentally, but do consider an alternative. Do consider an alternative moving forward. If you're in the industry of being one of the so-called losers in the pandemic, you need to start thinking about the next step, or what is the alternative industry I can join and I can achieve my dream. Perhaps this industry may not be suitable for you, but it's a stepping stone to achieve your dream. I'll give you a simple scenario. Maybe your dream one day is to become probably the best F&B outlet in Klang Valley. Maybe food and beverage example. But you're joining the financial industry. How is it related with food and beverage, right? But think of it like a stepping stone. Like you want to achieve the benchmark of maybe 1 million capital to start your F&B, but how to get the 1 million during the pandemic, right? MCO. So this could be the stepping stone for you to join to get that 1 million before going into your dreams. So that could be achieving your dreams already. So that is what I usually share, because this may not be suitable for everyone, but it definitely can achieve your dream. So that's what I'm going to share. And of course, with the MCO extending, it's time to consider being an entrepreneur and start earning money from home. But choose the right industry and choose wisely. So this is my contact number. Let's keep in touch, and hopefully we can work together. And thank you very much as well for joining. I would like to pass the time back to Encik Nizam.
Okay, thanks, Chin. Chin has been my friend, I think, for quite some time. Last time he used to work in a training company, as I recall. He was the one also who actually helped me around. Right, now let me share with you something that I think we all need to be aware of. All right, okay. All right, can you see my slide? Okay, hold on. I got.
Yeah, can go ahead.
Okay. Like, I think first of all, happy Chinese New Year to everyone, especially those actually looking live on Facebook. Kong Si Fa Chai. And just to let everybody here knows, either in the Zoom platform or in Facebook, my full name is Muhammad Nizam Muhammad Amin. I'm actually a mixed blood. My mom is Chinese, but unfortunately, I can't speak Chinese because my mom was brought up when she was a little girl, right? But then I do speak fluent Japanese. Okay, I will let you know why. All right. Just now, I think Chin already gave his topic. Now it's my turn. Right. Now, this is me. Actually, I have been a trainer and a consultant since 2004. And actually, it was a very tough decision for me to actually going away or going out from the complexity of being employed by people. I've been everywhere around, but then I think I do agree with Chin. I think he also already felt it. Since 2004, I felt this freedom of having my own schedule, right? Having my own schedule means I can decide. Of course, when we do consultation, we do training, we are following the client's deadline, right? Or the client's date or appointment, but then we have the say, right? When you are working with people, you may not have the say. Sometimes when you want to have your holidays, when you want to have your tea breaks, right? Before COVID-19, I was tea break every time at Starbucks of my choice. Okay? I graduated from Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology in 1991, right? I was also engaged by JETRO. JETRO is a Japanese external trade organization for about a year as an external consultant, right? So I have conducted, as you can see here, on your left-hand side, I have been conducting consultation even up to Japan, right? 2017, 2018. That is, I think, one of the fantastic year for me because I'm able to achieve my dream to teach Japanese managers and engineers. Okay, just imagine how many people can do that. Yeah, I think not many people they can do that, right? So being free is something that needs a lot of discipline. I think just now my colleague Chin has shared with every one of you of why we chose our path. He chose his path in insurance. I chose my path as a consultant and trainer, right? And it will be, quite a while before you can actually do that, but you need to be very disciplined. And today, I'm going to share with you how I discipline myself and how I can actually, becomes the man of my own, a manager of my own, right? The first thing that we need to do is unstress yourself or free yourself. This is the topic that I'm sharing with you currently. All right, free yourself. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have heard about the second brain concept, but many years ago, I got a gastric, almost went to the operating theater. But then I followed the Japanese way, and I felt that, especially when you are on your own, you're talking about you're running your own business or freelance consultation like me or doing like Chin, you need to be disciplined and also unstress your brain, right? Because stress is something that can actually affect your body reaction. Okay, so once you are stressed, it changes everything, and that's the reason why we have gastric, right? And also because when you are stressed, it can do a hell of things on your mental, right? You can ask me about that. Okay, I have seen a lot of people depressed, including my little sister in London. Physically, you can be sick like me, but then most of people are emotionally either frustrated, angry, or they are very nervous, right? And I think if you follow along our Ministry of Health, I think during the COVID-19, a lot of people, they are emotionally stressed, and even some people, they are also mentally affected, right? So it's something that, we want to do something about it, so that we can manage ourselves, or otherwise, as I say, that it can damage your health, it can damage your life, because stress is something that will actually conquer your life, conquer your time. And this is where we have all those things like Monday blues. Then you have like TGF. Thank God it's Friday, because Saturday is a free day. But if you ask myself and you ask Chin, I think for us every day is a good day. We don't have this syndrome of Monday blues. We don't have the syndrome of Friday. It's like, hey, I'm finally released from whatever it is. No, both of us right now, we are free men. I think mentally we are, very happy. Now, the reason why we are overstressed also, because one thing that I have read an article talking about information overload, right? Because when we have lots of information, especially during the COVID-19, the information that is being bombarded in our minds talking about, yeah, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to remember that, I need to be careful of this, and it really, really overload your mind, right? On top of whatever you need to actually remember, and then on top of all the other informations that you have right now, it's really making us very stressful. So I'm going to share with you a very simple method, right? If you want in detail, then you need to take me as a mentor or something, right? So how to build a second brain, right? Now, if we all know certain nations, like Japanese, for example, they call it atama no seri, means getting your brain organized, right? So last time when I started my career as an engineer in Japan, I was actually scolded by my Japanese superior, telling that, hey, atama seri kudasai. I was talking, what the heck is talking about organizing my brain, Then after a while, he explained, we need to actually make our brain like, systematic, right? But somehow or other, I found that we can't actually do that on our own brain, because we don't have the buttons to control it. We only have emotions. We only have certain limited methods at this moment to actually get our brain in order, right? But then I noticed one thing: the Japanese have been doing the second brain concept for as long as I can remember. Okay, what they do is actually they take notes, So what I see is that they actually release their primary brain. Okay, I call it the human brain is the primary brain, only for thinking and analyzing. Okay, the secondary brain, those days we don't have pamphlet, we don't have tablet, we don't have phones, we don't have Android like iPhone. So you can see that a lot of Japanese businessmen, they have lots and lots of notebook. Notebook of company A, company B, company C, they get information organized. Now, that is very, very important for us, so that we can actually, unstress ourselves and enjoy life. And I tell you, I'm enjoying my life. My neighbor right now was saying that, hey, I see you very free. Yeah, because I am enjoying my life, because I'm using the second brain concept, right? So now, how can you do that? First is to transform your life into digital. A lot of people say it's very difficult. No, I'm already 54. Okay, last January, I will be 55 next year. All right, and I tell you, because of digitalization, it has actually helped me to become a better person. All right. Now, this is to share with you how I did it. Right. First transformation is getting rid of all the manual things. We have business cards, we have our diaries, but unfortunately, having those even in an organized manner, there are certain things that cannot be done, right? It can only be done during the digital format. For example, when I receive a business card and actually I scan my business card, and all the information, where I met the guy, what time I met the guy, it would be in the digital format, right? Now, second thing is that I always make a point right now. every time when actually I snap a photo of a card, I will snap the photo of that person himself so that I can remember who they are. Now, the problem with the manual card arrangement, you may have the same name of Chin. Surname of Chin is, how many people, actually hundreds of people of Chin worldwide, right? So in the manual format, you can't have their photo. I've seen those days, a lot of businessmen, they like to put their photo on the business card, and eventually the business card becomes very expensive. I think the digital have transformed a lot of our life, right? Now, the most important thing is that either you are managing your business card or you're managing your schedule. Something that you can't do is that you can't link with all other applications. You can't have the searchable mode. You can't actually have alarm to actually wakes you up, right? So just now my colleague was talking about, hey, wake up, right? But then if you are doing a manual, the book won't shout at you unless we are in another world where the book can actually talk to you, right? So the first transformation is talking about putting your life in digital. I think I was, quite worried about whether I can do it, but then I have done it effectively for about 2 years. The transformation takes a bit of time. The last thing that I've thrown out for my life is my manual diary. So I'm no longer tied to the manual diary. Everything is digitalized. Now, the second transformation is talking about, we have a to-do list, right? Now, the thing why we say that the second brain is only for analyzing, because if you try to remember everything, you can't. You're just going to overstrain your brain. Now, when you want to be like us, okay, we are managing our own things. We are managing, either you are entrepreneur, technopreneur, or even some people say nomadpreneur, right? We need to actually free our brain from remembering things. Now, those days, we see a lot of people, they use sticky notes. Okay, again, when you have sticker notes, there is no alarm reminder, right? So you want to learn something like a digital sticky notes. I use Google Keep, and it's free. And the good thing about Google Keep is that if you can see on your screen right now, you can have colorful sticky notes. And again, the thing is that it is searchable. You are able to put in a different folder, and also you can be reminded, right? And I tell you, the manual things, they can't remind you of anything at all. Now, after the second transformation, this is a bit difficult unless you have slightly a bit more expensive devices, right? I used to be an Apple lover, but because Apple was very expensive, now I use Huawei Lite. I'm not an agent for Huawei, but I tell you guys, because writing digital is fun, okay? When I started transforming myself into digitalization a couple of years back, the pen was very bad. Sometimes it becomes not smooth. But then I tell you guys, 2 or 3 years back, the technology has evolved, and I tell you, you can write digitally. And good thing about it is that last time when we're doing manually, we need to cut and paste. We actually physical cut something and paste it on the books. But digital is just a bit cut and paste, but then everything is in one tablet. So you don't have to carry heavy stuff. And I think our colleague who is actually a pilot here, right? You can see those days, pilot always carry a lot of, I think, manuals in their bag. That's why you see them carrying a lot of bags. But then I see a lot of airlines these days, they are also transforming themselves towards digital things. Now, the good things about digital is that once you are able to separate these two brains, the first brain and the second brain, then you are able to free your mind, then you are able to unlock your potential. Once you are able to unlock your potential, you are able to think beyond your borders, beyond time. That's right. What Brian Tracy is a very famous speaker. I love to read his book, and he said that only big dreams have the power to move your mind and spirit. Like last time, people asked me, "Hey, what's your dream?" I want to be a prime minister. Hey, how come you're not a prime minister? My dream is to become a prime minister, but not necessarily become one, right? But then, because you have your target very high, but then you start pushing yourself up and up. Okay, a lot of my friends, which is actually 54, 55, they are really looking for retirement. But I always believe that I've spoken to Ton Mahathir. How come you are 94 years old, 95? How can you can actually live towards that age? He say, don't stop what you like to do. Once you stop, they say it's just killing your entire body. Just like he says that stopping a water pump. Once you stop the water pump, all the debris and everything will accumulate around the pump. And once you want to restart that, it's going to be very difficult. Just like the car. If you don't start your car for a long time, even though battery may be good, but then you can see that the oil might not be there. It's quite difficult for you to start the car, right? So unlock your potential. This is very, very important, because why? We are talking about shifting your life into the quadrant 2. I'm not going to explain about quadrant 1, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. All right. You can have our ebook later. Okay. You join our Telegram, then there's files and books there. You will see that quadrant number 2 is us. Okay. We prioritize things. We need to prioritize things, so we use digital format so that we can have a balanced lifestyle and we can have a high performance. Now, because I have done the transformation of digitization, I have become something like Chin say, self-entrepreneur. Now I have more time to do my hobby, right? During COVID-19, I do a lot of hobby. I'm a ham radio license operator. I got my license from SKMM to operate radio. I got my home-based radio. And I even start back to play my keyboard. Right? I used to play Yamaha keyboard. Now I'm doing that again. Why? I have more time, right? So how to do it? There are many methods to do it. Okay, I'm just going to share you. People say first you look at your strengths, and then you look at yourself today, right? And what actually you achieved yesterday, and then for the next day you are going to focus on your priorities, right? And then look at the results and see how are you contributing to those things. I even use a certain software to help that. Okay, so you need to change your habits. Now, if you do searchable in the internet, there's a lot of habits that you need to change. Okay, once you do that, it's very simple. But a most important thing is you need to have a mentor. You need to have a coach. Okay, you cannot do it alone sometimes. Okay, there are people who successfully do it alone, but I tell you, people say a successful person, there's always a lady standing at the back of him. If you have your wife will be standing and pushing you to be successful. So there is a coach. Whether you say yes or no, there is a coach, right? So both of us are also trainers. Both of us are also coach. Okay, Chin will be on his platform. I will be on platform. Now, because I have that timer. Currently, I'm involving myself in the digital goal, right? Digital goal with a couple of friends. Chin is not involved yet, right? So I'm just going to share you why, Chin has shared you with fabulous data. This is the data that I have from Economy Rakyat. Okay, if you can see that the economy is very bad, right?
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Anda bersama saya Nurul Sa'dan Latif dalam Sinar PM 8 Mei. Jabatan Perangkaan hari ini merekodkan kadar pengangguran meningkat 17.1% kepada lebih 600,000 orang pada Mac akibat kesan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan PKP.
So what Chin show you is not a myth. We did not do it alone. We did not do it on our own, sorry. But if you look at this line here, okay, I got this statistic from the Department of Statistics Malaysia. If you can see that they make actually a study, right? You can see on your left top corner, they made a study in actually in Selangor and also Johor, right? With about 168,000 respondents, asking them how are they being affected, right? So you can see that I have marked the red color. Let me show you what's the red color. It's shown here that a lot of people are being impacted, as what Chin mentioned earlier, right? So you can see that out of that almost 169,000 respondents, 94% actually has income decrement. And I tell you, this is not something that we need to look into it lightly, right? 35% or 40% is looking at income reduction. And you can see that sad thing is that when they do this study, another message that they have, information that you can see here, that Malaysian has less than half a year savings. Right? And I tell you, for the first 6 months, a lot of people were unable to work, including myself. I'm a trainer. Suddenly there's no job. Luckily, we have some savings and we have other sources of income, right? And you can see that certain people, they even have less than 1 month of savings. And I just like to share with you, because whatever happening in the world, this cryptocurrency is something that you need to look at. I'm sure that there are certain friends of mine who are actually the traditional financial. I think we have a colleague here also, right? Actually from the banking industry. Cryptocurrency is something that's been talking around by a lot of people, right? I have friends who invested. I got a friend recently, he bought a Bitcoin at 4,000 US. Now he's actually at almost a ringgit Malaysian value is almost 200,000 ringgit Malaysian, right? When the WHO announced global pandemic, you see that all the cryptocurrency is going up and up to the sky. And then when Elon Musk recently saying that I'm buying Bitcoin again, it pushed the price up to almost 50,000 US dollar, right? So this is something that you need to look. There's a lot of information out there talking about people are looking into cryptocurrency because a lot of governments, you know, they are very scared about people manipulating the current currency that we are using, right? Meaning that it may be affected not now, but it will be affected in later days. So that's the reason why something that you need to look forward, right? China government has their own digital currency. A certain government these days are talking about should be transformed because cryptocurrency is actually independent, is not being controlled by any institution, any third party. Okay, it is controlled by actually demand, right? So that is about my presentation.